Hello and welcome to the Motorway Man, and welcome to another video where I'll be answering the question, where is the UK's lowest point? It's a question I've been wondering about for a short while now, and in this video I'll be sharing the answer. And before I begin, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any great videos coming in the future, and also please consider supporting me on Patreon. I'd appreciate that too. So the question is, where is the UK's lowest point? And by that, I mean where in the UK can you be at the lowest elevation possible below sea level but still being on dry land? So, the UK consists of primarily 4 countries. They are England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. You can see their flags on screen and a map too. So to begin our search for the UK's lowest point, we must check all of these countries for potential low points. Now, after looking at all of my geographical maps, I can straight away rule out Scotland and Wales, as most of their territory is taken up by mountains, so I don't think we'll be finding the lowest point there. Next, we come to Northern Ireland. They have some high points and some low points, but none as low as England. The east of England to be precise, as the east of England is home to the lowest parts of the UK, comprising of Cambridgeshire, Norfolk, Suffolk, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire and Essex. I'll also be including Lincolnshire too, as that's also very flat, but do note that that's technically part of the East Midlands. I've circled in yellow the lowest points, and they're probably in Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire and Lincolnshire. So I look at my map and I see lots of rivers, dikes and canals, and these are all good signs of low ground. So I came to the conclusion that somewhere in the middle of these 3 counties would be a low point where the ground dipped. So in the middle of Lincolnshire, Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire, I decided a good place to look would be the city of Peterborough, which has a great service station by the way, and just south of Peterborough we would arrive at Holme Fen, England and the UK's lowest point, where you are 9 metres below sea level. So there you go, we did it, we finally arrived at the UK's lowest point. Now for a bit of information, Holme Fen is a part of a nature reserve and it sits just south of the A1M and is very easily accessible. In fact, it's right by where the Moto's new Sawtree services is going to be. So Holme Fen is a very nice place for a walk and it's home to plenty of woodland and trees. And you wouldn't think it, but at one time the whole nature reserve and forest and England's lowest point was all underwater. You see, back in the 19th century, they wanted farmland to farm on, and right where they wanted to farm was a mere or lake. So in order to farm on the land they wanted, they had to drain away the water. So they constructed dikes to allow the water to pass down from the mere to the sea. And that's why to this day Cambridgeshire is full of rivers, dikes and canals, as for centuries farmers have been trying to get the water away from the agricultural land so they could farm on it. And back in the 1800s they installed posts so that they could keep track of the drainage process, and we can see where the ground level has dropped significantly over the years, where they've been draining away the water through the dikes I just mentioned. You can see the plaque showing the dates where the level has decreased. These are the famous Holme Fen posts, and have become a semi-tourist attraction for the area. And on screen are the plaques I mentioned with the dates on where we can see where the ground has literally just disappeared. And when finally they had drained all the water away after many years, they finally had the farmland they desired. But for some reason, they concluded the land was not suitable for farming, so they planted a load of trees instead. And the new land they created became a woodland, and it became the nature reserve we find today. And the nature reserve is also home to the largest silver birch tree population in the UK too, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, there we have it. That's the history of Holme Fen, the UK's lowest point. So what 200 years ago was a big lake, now is home to a forest? How interesting. So anyway, that's the history of Holme Fen, the UK's lowest point. So if you're interested, there are several roads in the surrounding area that allow you to drive below sea level, and you can technically say that you're driving underwater if it's something you wanted to do. And as an unattended consequence of the UK's lowest point is that when you're driving below sea level, it can actually cause a less powerful sat-nav to break and not work properly. So if you did want to drive near Holme Fen, be careful that your sat-nav doesn't just get destroyed due to the loss of pressure. So be careful. And the ground level continues to drop to this day, and although now we are only 9 meters underwater, maybe in like 20 or 30 or maybe even like 100 years or so, the ground level is predicted to be a lot less, and we may be 20 or 25 meters below sea level while still walking on dry land. So there we have it, Holme Fen, UK's lowest point and 9 meters below sea level while still being on dry land. Thanks for watching. So anyway, I do hope you enjoyed the video. I do appreciate your time as always. I hope you liked this slightly different episode. Make sure you tune in this Sunday for another exciting Motorway Man video. And until then, I shall catch you in the next one. Support me on Patreon if you like what you see. It'll help me a lot and it'll keep the channel going. And I shall catch you in the next one. Goodbye.